Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright, guys, on this episode of Bullet Points this morning, we have ourselves a new gun control law. It is officially a law. Biden managed to get out of bed and he managed to find his pen, found his seat, not anybody else's seat, his seat, and he signed his name on that bill, which becomes law. So congratulations. On this fine morning, we've inherited a new gun control law from Biden himself, brought to us by the Senate Republicans. I'm going to bypass that whole part. You can check the video out last night. I will link it in the description and for a card so you can see who was actually responsible for this. But it's law. That baby is put to bed. So now it becomes a great time to talk about what's going to most likely be challenged in court as unconstitutional and what's likely not to be. Because that's incredibly important to understand where we move from here. Now, I'm going to say it right out. Here's my disclaimer. I am not a constitutional lawyer. This is just my interpretation of what I see and what is most likely from my opinion. So let me know what you guys think in the comments field below. If you agree, if you disagree, everything will be linked in the description box. I'm going to say a quick word from our sponsor who made this video possible. Then we're going to hit it hard on the other side. Now, the video today is brought to you by Nautilus Ammunition. Nautilus offers a unique opportunity for your freedom seeds. Specializing in American-made 9mm and .223, they have a subscription service which ships straight to your door. By cutting out retail and shipping straight from the manufacturer, you win in a big way. We're talking about saving $3 to $5 a box. To get updates on sales and product releases, head on over to their Instagram linked in the description right down there, and thank you so much to Nautilus Ammunition for sponsoring this weekend's videos. But now, guys, let's dive into this. Like as always, everything is linked. We're always looking to earn that subscription. So if you find value in what we bring, please smash that button. Let's get it. All right. So the bipartisan deal that the Senate Republicans initiated and then Biden just signed into law. Let's get it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the actual boyfriend loophole. That was something that the left has gone after forever. The anti-gun lobby, they basically said, we need to find something to rally around and something to have a term and a good definition to really hit and fundraise on. Enter the boyfriend loophole. Now, essentially, the boyfriend loophole is an extension of existing law. If you are a convicted domestic abuser, you've lost your gun rights. In this case, they added boyfriends into that. There's a lot more nuance. Again, everything is linked in the description box to read the entire bill. I don't see that one getting challenged as unconstitutional only because it's based on your actions. It's not based on an immutable characteristic, which would mean something like who you are. If you are a boyfriend, you can't have gun rights. That would be a problem. But if you're a boyfriend and you have this problem and you have this behavior and you're convicted, then that's a lot of steps they're going to have a problem challenging. Defining an FFL. Now, this one was a little interesting. Again, I'm just going down the bullet points of the main 4 things that they changed in this now law that Biden just signed. Senate Republicans. Anyway, defining an FFL, essentially they reworked some wording to where they clarified it. They said there was a loophole in how many guns you could sell for how much profit, etc., etc. What they did was they refined that language down to, instead of saying X amount of guns or X amount of profit or X percentage of profit, it became if you make a profit. Now, a lot of people are very concerned about that because it is a little ambiguous, but basically what they did was they just added to existing law. They clarified something that was already existing, very similar to the boyfriend loophole. So I don't think that one's going to be challenged. Again, it's based on your actions. It's not based on an immutable characteristic. That's an incredibly important piece because if you look at the Bruin case that just came down, Clarence Thomas made it very clear in his opinion that because New York made it almost impossible and you had to prove your case for your rights, that's significantly different, which is why it was struck down. The FFL thing is based off business activity. The boyfriend loophole thing is based off of criminal activity. So those are 2 things that are directly tied to behavior, not a person's characteristics. Now we're going to get into the red flag law, and this is the one that has got everyone all worked up, and rightfully so. Because what they did was they didn't actually start a red flag national program because that would be a big problem, a huge problem. Because then you've got a federal judge, federal bureaucracies, DOJ involved, everyone having the ability to initiate red flag laws on individuals and gun owners and Second Amendment rights activists, right? Hello. So the big thing about this is they put funding in place. The funding itself is not unconstitutional. They put in a 4-step series of checks, which basically was like you have to have you have to have penalties. You have to make sure there's no inadmissible evidence. You have to be able to face your accuser. They tried really hard in their attempt to put in due process so they wouldn't get sued on this. And that's an important piece. They tried very hard, not to get ruled unconstitutional on this, which is why they went the extra steps of the 4-step method. Now, I'm not in agreement with this. I'm just saying that's what they did. That's their methodology. That's their thought process. That one is not going to get sued into the unconstitutional category on its own. what will happen is existing red flag laws across the nation that will either be new and popped up or improved or decreased based off of existing red flag laws that can be ruled unconstitutional. In my personal opinion, I think red flag laws are going to be unconstitutional eventually when they get enough cases in place, which ironically, this is going to fund a lot more programs if they set them up and they follow all the criteria to where it's going to end up at the Supreme Court again. And this one might actually be struck down because red flag laws, that is a sticky / slippery slope, which I find ironic. But let's keep going. The enhanced background check, 18 to 21. Now, this one, again, is not based on everyone who is 18 to 21 because that is who they are. They don't get an enhanced background check because they're 18 to 21. It says very plainly and explicitly in the language, only after further due diligence and further research on an individual. They added $100 million for NICS background checks. They want to make sure they check the background for criminal activity, mental activity before you're 18. So again, it's based off of behaviors. It's not based off of who you are. It's not a mandatory waiting period, and it's not a mandatory enhanced background check. It's literally they bought more time to dig deeper. Now again, the 3 out of the 4 things here where they're diving into nuances and they're basically fine-tuning, it's all based on either criminal behavior, business behavior, or background behavior. Those 3 things aren't going to be challenged because it's subjective to what you've done as an individual. The red flag law is going to be challenged, but not in this bill at the Senate level. It's going to be challenged in the execution of multiple states because now everyone knows about it. It's out in the open. The more and more they violate rights with these red flag laws, the more and more it's going to go up into the Supreme Court. Particularly with Bruin, that just came down and basically struck out the way that they would interpret law going forward from a 2-step process to a 1-step process. That is probably where this is going to end up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, if you agree, if you disagree, and I will see you tonight at the 9 p.m. segment. I'm Braden. See you later.